when you're smart enough and you educate yourself enough in geopolitics, you understand that because it's one world, there's a balance. If you stay poor, I'm rich. If you become too rich, I become poor. And the people who are rich don't want to become poor. Listen, I live in a great neighborhood, and if tomorrow somebody tells me, yeah, listen, you're gonna have to give your apartment and for a month because we have to do a switch, and all the poor people from the ghetto will come. They will live in your house, and you leave everything, the computers and everything. They're gonna live here for a month, and you all of you go live in the ghetto so that people understand the life of whatever, and we switch. I'll be like, hell no, fucker. No. It's like, nobody come live in my place. You see what I mean? And it's normal. And I understand the point of view of the Europeans. I understand the point of view of the Americans. We want to stay the winners because we write the history. We say who's good, who's bad. We say who's a resistant, and we say who's a terrorist. And they've been doing this for almost 100 years. And their goal is to stay rich. Why? Because they have populations in their countries who would be angry if they could not pay for social security, for electricity cheap, for oil cheap, for diamonds to put in their ears, for gold to do their rings and their pendants, for coltan, bauxite, etc., copper, all these wood in Ivory Coast, coltan in Congo, to make all the computers, all these things. They need it to stay rich. But the problem is, all these things are in Africa and in other countries, but they're not in France. They're not in the UK. They're not in Belgium. So how come you rich and we poor? And if you ask them, they will tell you, oh, it's because your leaders are corrupt. Oh, who's corrupting them? No, they're just corrupt. Huh? But in the corruption, there's two people. The corruptor and... How does it work? No. Listen, your leaders are corrupt. You need democracy. You need democracy and you need help. Our army is coming. What? Yeah. Don't worry. Oh, here's your new president. Boom. And every time one of us, Gaddafi, Lumumba, Sankara, every time one of us comes and say, we're not having it. We need to be together. We need to be strong. We need to be a force. We need to be together, and we need together to decide the price of diamonds, the price of gold, the price of... They have euros, they have dollars. Why do we use dollars? Why do we pray to the blonde guy with blue eyes? Why? What about our gods before? No. Like, they came here, they told us, use our money, use CFA, use dollars. We're gonna buy gold at this price. If you say no, you die. Or if you say no, all of a sudden, rebels come from nowhere in the jungle and they have weapons, new weapons that... who build weapons exactly? Oh, $1.5 trillion every year. This is the money that the US, France, Holland, the UK, Belgium, all these people who manufacture weapons, missiles, tanks, etc. That's the money they make from wars. But then in their channels, they show you war. Like, oh, people are dying. Oh my God, look at this kid. Oh, dead. Oh, look at his parents crying. We have to stop the evil. We cannot let this be. Democracy has to prevail. Let's go there. Bomb the people. What? Whoever wins, they make money. Yeah, it's their weapons. So they don't care. And whoever wins wants to win so that they can be the one who's gonna sell them the oil. That's the reason why people are fighting. They're not fighting to fight. I mean, yeah, some of the religion stuff, whatever. But a lot of them, yeah, they all want to, survive and make money. And so once you see that, it's interesting to me because from the inside, you don't see the same way as from the outside, when these couple of young, bold, and beautiful and billionaires were seen as, yeah, his wife she's a multi-billionaire, and he's an art collector, and for a long time they were respected, and then the smear campaign started. And listen, I'm not saying that who's wrong, who's right. I'm just telling you how it feels from the inside. A few years ago, there was the Luanda leaks. So this is interesting that there's always a leak of something. And and last episode I was talking to you about hashtags, and this is again the power of the hashtags. If tomorrow you say, oh, the Kinshasa leaks, right? And you say, oh, Kaysha's father had his money like this back in the 70s, back then, da 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 da, and this is his empire, and da 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 da, and his son Kaysha completely benefited from this, and da 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 da, and do you know that he used to live here and there? This is Kaysha as a kid in China, etc., etc. All of a sudden, now that you're associated with the Kinshasa leaks or the Congo leaks, then you're gonna have a lot of people that will hate you and forget the amount of work that you have put in your life, the amount of sacrifice that you're a rich kid. You're a rich kid who could have just decided to follow your dad, become a politician, or ask for your dad for $1 million and say, hey, listen, I want to build whatever, so can I have that money? And back then you could just call my uncle, who was my mother's father-in-law was the director of the central bank, or Syndica's dad was a big banker as well. I think he was the head of central bank. I'm not sure. Don't quote me on something stupid, but we could call our dads at that time and say, yeah, Dad, listen, I need 200,000 to build a building, or to do, like, this is what you are. When you are part of that, you can decide, right? But we didn't. Personally, I decided that I want to make music. My father didn't want me to make music, but I decided to make music. I went to Cayenne, Guyane. I stayed there for a whole year. I lived there. I slept on floors. I didn't care who I was. I was just somebody who wanted to make music. I went to a small studio at Route de Montabo, not far from the Montjoly, and I started recording my album. And 22 years later, here I am, respected for my music and not for who my dad is. I made my name for myself. But all you need is one motherfucker comes from nowhere and say, yo, this is the leak. And then they start putting it in all the channels. Thousands of documents are seeing. I'm saying that, like, nobody cares if it's true or not. It's entertaining and it can fuck you, so everybody runs with it. And all of a sudden, all the people who used to respect you and love you and talk about you with admiration, or even had a job because of you, everybody forget the number of people that you made happy with your music, or the number of jobs that you gave to fathers who could feed their families. Everybody forget about that and everybody say, yeah, give back the money. And nobody cares if it's true. And nobody cares how. How much money? How much money is yours? How much you did yourself? And then people are starting to talk about, yeah, the accounts are frozen. And then you're happy because we want to see, because like we say in Ivory Coast, les gens n'aiment pas les gens. Les gens n'aiment pas les gens. People don't like people. People pretend that they want you. They love to see you succeed, but if there's something they love you even more, is to see you fall. And you know, when I was thinking about Cindy Cass passing, after Saturday waking up like, oh my God, like how could this happen? And you know, I had him. I talked to him on WhatsApp a few months ago, and you know, we were showing each other photos of our kids, and you know, this is my biggest one, this is my latest one, and you know, my daughter is 3 years old or 2, and he was showing me his first one, and you know, like I was so happy for him, and I was like, oh, you remember when you introduced me to Isabel back in front of Virgin Megastore in 2001? And he was like, yeah, I remember, He was my girlfriend at that time. And I was like, wow, I didn't even know she was the daughter of a president. I didn't even know where Angola was at that time. And you know, we were just having this chit chat, and he was like, hey, listen, when you pass to London, next time let me know so we can have dinner or something. Pass by the house, and I really want to show you what I'm doing with art and etc. And all of a sudden, all this shit started. So they had to go to Dubai and Russia, places where they were not, you know, where they felt free. And listen, things could have been done in a different way. I'm not familiar enough with everything, right? But at a point, you ask yourself, do you deserve? No, forget this. At a point, nobody asks themselves, how does it feel to have the whole world against you? And no matter how much money you have, when everybody hates you all of a sudden because of all the media giving one side of the story, and all the media and all the people and the internet starting to bully you, meaning that every time you post something positive that you are doing, then you have everybody talking about everything else. And nobody, it's only today that all of a sudden everybody remembers that he has bought back and recuperated 4,500 pieces of African art from Congo and from the Central Africa region that were in museum in Europe and the US. Our culture that was stolen and displayed in their museums. He's been an advocate for African art for all these years. And oh yeah, now that he's dead, you all remember that? And I see everybody in the comments like, oh my God, he's so sad. I'm like, yo, where were you, all of you, when the whole world was against them? You were part of the mob throwing rocks. And it's never black, it's never white. It's always a shade of gray. But I really hope that all the people who are in the comments today giving her sincere apologies or not, sincere condolences or not, and who are here saying, oh my God, he was a great man, I hope that everybody will shield her like one man. Us, the African people, will start shielding our people. Because I'm going to tell you one thing. You know, they built a tribunal in Holland, in Den Haag, which is the international tribunal of war crimes, etc. The only people who they judge are Russians and African leaders. What about all the shit that these people do when they go to our country and they bomb people, they rape people, they smuggle drugs? What about this? Isn't that why your tribunal is it's international tribunal, or it's more something that you use to put Bagbo away from Ivory Coast, Bemba away from Congo when you need, and then you release them when it's okay? Because the same tribunal, now that is an African lady at the helm, she said, "Oh, listen, I want to check, I want to convoke the generals for what the American soldiers did in Afghanistan. There's been a lot of drug trade going on there, and there's been a lot of there's been some village and some people that have been killed, and yeah, we want you at the stand." You know what the Americans said? "We're not going nowhere. Hey, we don't. Yeah, we are the Americans. We are higher than your tribunal." Oh, but when it's Africans, look at us. We give them our people. And I want to come to something that are higher than the whole situation. And I don't want to go too political, but it's important that we teach ourselves. We have to protect our own people the same way they protect their own people, the same way the Jews protect their own people, and if they have the fault, they deal about it between themselves, and if you wrong, yeah, the law. But if somebody comes and just start doing a campaign about somebody, those people can defend themselves. I mean, they're starting to feel it with the Me Too movement, because look at the Me Too movement. A lot of people were accused of things, and now we're starting to see that, well, some of the things were not true. But it's too late. You lost your job, you lost your money, your wife divorced, and then all of a sudden, yeah, the law says, well, actually, you are not, and the court of public opinion is easy to sway. All you need to do is control the media. And what I really need today is that we start protecting our heroes, that we don't wait for our heroes to be dead to start praising them and giving them flowers. We have to protect our heroes at all costs. They are not perfect. They are not, and I'm not saying let's protect everybody even when they are not honest. I'm saying if somebody tells me that my hero is not honest, I want to see the proof before I start believing in what you say, because it's in your TV that serves you. And what I learned from philosophy is you have the thesis, but you have the antithesis first, second, and third, you have the conclusion. And a lot of people, they listen to one side, and because they're happy, because, oh yeah, you too rich. Yeah, fuck you, rich guy. Bam, bam, bam. Because inside of all of us, there's envy, there's greed, there's the want to blame the one who have for the one who don't have. But a lot of people, they became what they are because they work hard. A lot of us, we didn't decide how we were about to be born, and we were just born. And then we had access to things. Listen, I didn't make my career as an artist with my father's money, but being at the best schools, learning to speak free language at age 12, going to Sorbonne, and learning the graphic design and stuff in the best schools, and being in an environment where I could live in a great apartment. I remember Will used to come and pick me up in this apartment. This is something that my father is part of. And like my mama always tells me, your father grew up with nothing. And his obsession has always been that his children grow up having everything, but at the same time with values. And a lot of these people are my father, his generation, they're all new rich because they just came out of colonies. And even if they became rich, they were not rich before. So a lot of them, including our ex-presidents, a lot of them, yeah, it blew up their head because too much money. Yeah, what do you think? You're a millionaire at 30 years old. Some will become, some will keep thinking about the country, and others, yeah, some people will say, you want more millions? And they will be corrupted. Or they will have so much money that they will start going crazy and not wanting to leave power. Power and money corrupts. Power, money, the respect of others, it corrupts you. Unless you have the education that I have. But a lot of these people, I'm not trying to forgive them for whatever, but a lot of these people that you call dictators, they come from being poor or being soldiers, and all of a sudden they have ultimate power. And some of them, yeah, they get distracted, corrupted, they don't want to leave the power because they don't want to leave what they didn't have and now they have, or they don't want to give it to their ex-enemies or whatever. This is politics. This is ruthless. And the way they present it to the world is too simplistic. And what counts is when you are the kid, and now I'm speaking for me, and I'm speaking for my dear Syndica, I'm speaking for Isabel dos Santos, I'm speaking for all the children of rich people, of politicians, of etc. that I met in my life because we all grew up in the same circles. What counts is not what you have, is what you're gonna do with it, how you're gonna behave with it, what are you gonna build, and not everybody is forced to do the right thing, if I can say. You can just enjoy your life, and as long as you respect other people. But some people want to build. Some people, like I said, if you are born with a million, and at the end of your life you still have the million that your father gave you and you pass it on, well, you didn't do a lot of things. Now, if you're born with a million and you transform it into a billion, it means you have worked. If you are born in a great family and you become your own name, you become Kaysha, and you are known not because your father is known, or your mother is known, but because of you, it means that you found your own path. And it's not as easy as you think. A lot of people, they struggle with this. And when you say you struggle, people are like, oh, what you know about struggle? Some people don't have food. Yeah, I understand. But we all live in our own life. We are all living our own life, and we all have our struggles that are different. Some people, yeah, their struggle is trying to feed themselves. Some others, their struggle is trying to fill the shoes left by their parents. Or some others is, yeah, listen, if you are the daughter, look, there was this girl, she wanted to sing bad. She had a great voice, she was cute, and she lived in New York, etc. And she was a great artist and stuff, and she was trying to whatever in 2002. One problem, she was the niece of bin Laden. And nobody gave her any chance. She like, the moment people found out that she was the niece of the worst person in the world for the Occident. Nobody wanted to know, and she had nothing to do with her thing. She was in America. She was like thinking like an American. She arrived there young and etc. etc. But soon as people found out who she was the daughter of, it was game over. She never could release something. And it was not today where anybody can release anything. It was at that time where, oh, what, you the niece of who? Nah. Yo, but Universal, hey, I have money. I can't, nah. Pass. I like the song, but I pass. And in her, I don't know. I don't know her, but if I put myself in her shoes, I would be like, but wait a minute, I didn't do nothing. Yeah, but your name is Bin Laden. Like, it's a heavy name, and nobody thinks about how it feels as a human being when people are starting to insult you. I'm lucky that my father is very respected in my country and around the world. But yeah, from time to time, people come to me and they're like, yeah, your father stole money from Congo. Yeah, you have proof. But the thing is, a lot of our contemporaries, a lot of our people who are in Europe, they're brainwashed. They see Africa and they see themselves as Africans, but they don't realize, like, you are not African. You are from African origins. You've been in Europe. You were born in Europe. Your parents are in Europe, and you come here with a message, but your message is actually a message from French media. The things that come out your mouth sometimes is the thing that come out of somebody who've seen documentaries and who've been talking to people on Twitter. It's not the message of somebody who's there on the ground and who understand what happens and who understand the complexities of what it is. And those people, they are the ones who come on Twitter, on Instagram, and they yell, yeah, but this, yeah, but that, well, yeah, what about democracy? Like, bro, listen, stop. Go there, document yourself, learn, understand the history, go back to the 40s, go back to the World War, go back to the colonization, go back to all this, understand what the Europeans left and how, understand how they did everything to stay in power and who they helped go there and what kind of contract they had, what kind of contract they had with them to hold them by the balls. And yeah, how a lot of people, got corrupted, of course. But who corrupted them and why? And why the same people who corrupted them are the same people who are always doing campaign and telling you, point fingers at these people. And then at the same time, the same people are pushing new people. And the same people who corrupted the old people are selling weapons to the future new people, and they're already doing deals. And you will understand the world, because in the world, in the same planet, you have the poor people with all the resources and the rich people with no resources. But strangely, the rich people have their armies all around the world to protect the others. And but you have to start thinking for yourself and not thinking by hashtags and by slogans and by whoever is tweeting stuff. You really have to document yourself and be able to understand. But my point is, when we stop hating each other as a people, when we stop that and we are able to shield our people and to look at our heroes, and when we have billionaires, we have to celebrate them. And it doesn't mean they are perfect, but we need to celebrate them instead of celebrating Obama. I love Obama. He's cool. Yeah, he plays basketball. He's the coolest president in the US. He's still American. He's not African. Still what I mean? He still is working for his country, his continent, not ours. And listen, there's a lot of Americans here, there's a lot of Europeans here. Like me, I love everybody, but it's more a question of why do we Africans or African origins, why do we celebrate the rich people from outside, or we like a lot of my friends are obsessed and they love Vladimir Putin, for example. They love him. It's like, oh my God, he's the ultimate leader. He's the guy. Look, the posture. Look at that. Okay, but what about ours? So why don't we celebrate Mobutu? Why don't we celebrate all our tyrants and dictators? Why not? And because we live in a world where we've been taught all these years, those are dictators. Those are l'homme fort. But look who's telling you who's who. That's what's the most important. And look who is always bringing freedom to other countries with bombs. See what I mean? So we have to start celebrating our Steve Jobs, our Disney's, etc. And this is why, listen, I love Black Panther. I love the idea of the Marvel finally doing a movie when they paint Africa a certain way and etc. But it is still an American movie. It's still an American movie done by an American and showing Africa in a romanced way that they want to see it. And how Black Americans want to see Africa. It's a vision. And yeah, it's great, it's nice. But we celebrated it as if it was our movie and it was about to fund our school. But all the money went to Disney. Straight to Disney. It didn't go. It went to fund the next Star Wars. It didn't go to fund African art. We celebrate Beyonce, and I celebrate Beyonce when she did Black is King, and she's working with a lot of African restaurants. This is amazing. It's beautiful to see, and I love seeing this Africa coming from the eyes of Occident, because when I was born, the Africa that they were showing me all this time was the kid with dysentery and with the fly here, and like that's the image that they've been showing us all over all our youth. And yeah, USA for Africa and we are the world and etc. And in a way it put us in a position, us who were Africans but who lived in Europe and who were born in Africa but left so early that we are more Europeans than Africans. It gave us a strange taste of, Africa is poor. But then, listen, we have internet as well. We have geniuses as well. We have billionaires as well. We have leaders as well. But every time the Western media comes and demonizes our leaders, we are the first to throw the rocks. And we don't even ask. We're just happy that some of us who are winning lose. And I believe that it's time that we deal with our affairs by ourselves. And if some of us have to respond to the law and etc., but it has to be between us. Like they do when it's them.